Good morning, everyone. It is 8:45, so we will be getting started. This meeting is being recorded. My name is Olivia McCall. I am a teacher at the STEM Academy. What we are offering, well, first of all, if you would, teachers, please make sure that you can see my presentation. Have it pinned to your screen. What you should see is a slide that starts with the STEM Academy and says the application. So if you could, make sure that's pulled up, and I thank you. But students, what we are offering going forward is a little different from the STEM Academy you may have experienced in the past. What we are doing next year is offering a program kind of similar to PCTC or AET or Governor School, except this program will be for 9th and 10th graders. What will happen is for one semester of your 10th grade year next year, you have the opportunity to come over with us at the STEM Academy and take 2 classes. And I'm going to get into what those classes will entail in a bit. But first, I want to talk about the application process a little bit. So first things first, we have a Google form live on this website. So if you go to the Google or to the PCS website, you can search STEM, the STEM Academy Chatham, and pull up our website. And I'll show you this in a little bit. On our website is a place that says apply here, and that'll take you to the Google form. And on that Google form is a non-binding little survey basically that tells us, hey, I'm kind of interested in this program. And that'll give us your information, so we pass that on to your school counselors. And from there, you will go to your school counselor and get a paper application. And that paper application is pretty straightforward. What it has is 3 different forms that are pretty important to get filled out. The third form is the easiest because your counselor is going to keep it and fill it out for you. But the other 2 are teacher recommendations. And those teacher recommendations are going to have to come, one of them typically from one of your current 9th grade teachers. The other one is going to have to come from any person in your current school building that you feel like knows you pretty well. And what you'll do is you'll go to those teachers or coaches or administrators or counselors and say, hey, I'm interested in going to the STEM Academy. Do you think you could help me out by filling out this application? And your teacher will say, absolutely, because I'm a teacher and that's awesome and we'd love to do teacher recommendations. So that is the very first part, and I'll walk you through this process going forward.
Morning, everybody. My name's David Potts, and I'm also coming to you live from the STEM Academy this morning. And we're going to talk about the 2 pathways that you have to choose from, 2 different focuses that you'll have during your 10th grade year here with us at the STEM Academy. You can choose the Health and Medical Sciences pathway, which is any career that you've thought about doing in health and medicine, whether it be a doctor, a nurse, a pathologist, a veterinarian, a physical therapist, literally anything, lab technician that has anything to do with health or medical sciences, we have a pathway for you. Our other pathway is called Advanced Career Connections. Basically, they have 19 different programs at VOTEC at PCTC that you have to choose from. And our Advanced Career Connections, what it'll do is it'll give you a sampling of all those different career options that you have open to you at PCTC. If you look up on the screen, you'll notice there's all kinds of cool stuff up there, things to choose from. We've got stuff with cars, auto body. We've got robotics, mechatronics, computer systems, cosmetology. It's an amazing array of things. Horticulture, precision machining. You've got welding, teachers for tomorrow, small animal care, electricity, HVAC, an amazing array of different things that you have to choose from over at VOTEC. So what's cool about STEM is it gives you an introduction to those things. Maybe you're not sure about which direction you want to go, or maybe you want to explore a whole bunch of those before you make a choice moving forward. Then you would apply on the Advanced Career Connection side, and you get to start to play with some of the machinery, the instruments, and investigate the programs that go on at VOTEC. We'll hit on some of that again later. So let's talk about your next year with us. So in 10th grade, you're going to take biology just like you would if you were at your normal school, but our biology is a little bit different. We have a state-of-the-art grant-funded lab And what kinds of equipment we're going to have in there that may be a little different from your base school is not only do we have some things here, but we pair with some community partners, different businesses and folks in our community that have more resources than we do. So we pair with them to use their equipment and their expertise. Like, for instance, microbiology. We're going to do lots of things involving bacteria and fungi and viruses. And so we pair with Vista Diagnostics lab here in town, so that if we need greater incubator space or if we need more complicated machinery than we have here at the STEM Academy, then we pair with them to make those things happen. Uh, Gel electrophoresis and PCR kits. We're going to go past just the basics of DNA and start getting into how you would use DNA and how what types of careers explore DNA possibilities. Uh, Ms. McCraw and I are both also in big time dissectors. We like doing comparative anatomy. So if you're an animal science person, or you're some thinking of going into a health field that has something to do with surgery or just how the body works, pathology, we're going to do a lot of that. Both of us are big into biochem. So we weave some chemistry into our biology here as well. Both of us like to do labs, and the whole point of STEM is lots and lots of hands-on activities and active research, things that you're doing. Instead of just looking and learning, it's doing and learning. Another great feature we've got here is when you come to STEM, you're going to be issued a personal laptop. Not only will you use it when you're here with us at STEM, but we want you to be able to connect technologically outside of here. So you can take that personal laptop back to your base school with you, and you can take it home to use when you're at home for your homework for other classes and to help connect us here at STEM. So your biology, real world applications, hands-on labs, new equipment, and a focus on our two pathways. All right. Now, I know you're thinking, hey, why would we want to do a big project during our 10th grade year? Well, since you guys are only here with us for 1 year, we do a smaller research project called Project Innovate. But the cool thing about it is totally student selected. In other words, you are going to investigate something that you're interested in, something you want to know the answers about, and we're going to use our community partners and our corporate partners to help you with mentoring and internships and figuring out ways that you can use their resources to help you figure out the things you are curious about. Let me give you a couple of examples. If you're really interested in soil science, for instance, growing plants, we have a corporate partnership with Southern States right across the street here in Chatham. So we'll take soil samples from different places wherever your research takes you. They'll help us analyze those samples, and then they will tell you what kinds of things would grow best in that soil, what kind of fertilizers you would need, what you would need to do to alter that soil to take it in the direction you would want. And then we can test those things in your research and then present it. Let's say you're interested in the medical side, where, like, say, vaccines, that's a hot topic right now. The making of vaccines or the distribution of vaccines. We're partnered with a group out of Ringgold called Bioengineered Pharmaceuticals. And they use liquid nitrogen to keep their vaccines. They do aerosol inhalable vaccines for certain things, and they use liquid nitrogen to keep it at those levels. They also design all of their own machinery. So if you're big time into mechatronics, or you're into robotics or machinery or precision machining, they do all their own stuff right there on site. They're also into gummy bears. They're making vegan gummy bears. So if you're a biochemist person or you're curious about that side of things, they make vegan plant-based gummy bears that deliver. First, they're gonna do it to deliver vitamins, and then they're hoping to move on to deliver other medicines and vaccines to make them more palatable and fun for kids. Oh, I'm taking my medicine, I'm eating gummy bears. So there's lots of different ways that you can go with your Project Innovate, because we are trying to connect you to the community around you, the community you might not even know exists. So no matter where you're going your junior and senior year, STEM can help you get there. If you're just looking for a 1 year opportunity to go do something new and interesting, do some labs, do a little research, connect with technology, then you can certainly go back to your base school. All of our base schools have certain programs and some really great teachers that have their own things there, and you can explore that. If you're looking to go to VOTEC, go to PCTC. STEM is a great way to get your foot in the door over there, because you start the process on the advanced career connection side, and then it translates right into your junior and your senior year at VOTEC. If you're interested in engineering, all the hands-on labs we do, they correspond really well with what they do at AET, at the engineering school at the Institute. And then if you have some higher academic goals and you're curious about governor's school, our research project and our technology aligns incredibly well with what they're doing at governor's school. So again, you're trying to put your foot in the door somewhere. This is a good way to do it, a fun way to do it, and hopefully an educational and interesting way to do it. All right, just a couple of logistical things before we hop into questions. And anybody listening, if you have any questions, if you'll just put them in the chat box, we'll address those as we go. Say there are no bad questions. We want to make sure everyone's questions are addressed. We're also going to have a parent meeting and another informational meeting tomorrow night. Students, when you look in your emails tomorrow, you will see that there is a link to that. The high school meeting starts at 7:30. So you and your folks just log in from wherever, on your phone, on your computer, wherever from home, and you can access that meeting at 7:30 tomorrow. Ms. McCraw and I will be there. We can give the spiel to your parents and answer any questions they may have about the program. So what you will do next year, if you come to us as a 10th grader, 10th grade at STEM Academy is going to be in the afternoons. So one semester, either in the fall or the spring, you will come to us after lunch for 2 periods, okay? You'll take your biology with us, and then you'll take your elective over here. So both of those things will happen. You will take your SOL with us. It will count towards your base school, but we will be taking the biology SOL here. I wouldn't worry. Ms. McCraw and I are both well versed in SOLs, so we're not really worried about the test, but we're going to try and get there in a very different way than you may be used to. You're not going to miss out on anything at your base school. You'll come back right at the end of the day. You're not going to miss out on any clubs, any sports. You're not going to miss seeing your other friends. This is really just a 1 semester, 2 period pullout where you'll come to us and then you'll go back to your base school. So STEM is just adding to your educational experience, not taking away from it. All right, we're opening up to questions. We got 33 classrooms in here. So folks, open it up. What would you like to know about STEM? What questions have I not answered? And Ms. McCraw and I, what have we not answered over our presentation here?
And for those of you that may have joined a bit late, this is Mrs. Vaughn. We're going to review the application process at the end.
We will.
So if you have questions, please, teachers, put them in the chat.
I see a bunch of my former students are teachers in these classrooms, and I know they had trouble stopping talking when they were with me, so I can't imagine you guys don't have any questions. All right, so when are applications due? We are trying to get all of our applications in, at least the interest survey, so we can get a hold of your names. We're trying to get that done by March the 15th. Everybody's in scheduling mode, and so are we. So March 15th, that's a little less than 2 weeks, but I think when we review this process, you're going to realize that it's really not that much for you to do, students. If it's something you're interested in, off you'll go. Will remote learners have longer? We are having a meeting with all virtual kids tomorrow. And obviously I know they have some obstacles that other folks don't have. As long as they fill in their interest survey online, we're going to make sure that they're part of the process. We'll get everybody taken care of, remote learners as well. As long as they fill in that online application so we know they're interested in where they are, we will make sure to connect with them. Excellent question. Let's see. Which grades can attend? 10th or 11th? This is for rising 10th graders. So 9th graders, current 9th graders would be coming to us as 10th graders next year. Typically, this would be a 2-year program, so we would be talking to rising 9th graders. But this is a special situation. You guys would be able to come over for 1 year to take advantage of STEM. But that's the way it is. You have to start somewhere. Bus transportation is provided. Yes, they will report to their school and then they'll hop on the bus and come to us. Should applicants be academic high flyers or will average students be considered? Grades are always a factor, and certainly grades are not something that we would, good grades are not bad on someone's application, but it's not the most important thing we're looking for. we're mostly looking for people that are really interested in what we're doing across the entire county. We want a good survey of everyone across the county. So interest and teacher recommendations. Teachers, you know students better than most folks do. You know if they have an ability, you know if they have a talent, you know if they have an interest in some of the things that we discussed. So if someone interest level is number one, and then teachers, you guys telling us through those teacher recommendations that, yeah, this kid could really benefit from what you're doing. They could benefit from small class sizes. We're not going to have any classes with more than 18 people. That is the absolute max, the cap on what we're doing is 18 kids in a class. They would really benefit from that technology. They would benefit from that hands-on experience. This is something that might really help bring somebody out of their shell, maybe someone that hasn't been a high achiever up until now, but you know that if they just had a little bit different chance that they would flourish. So yes, we're looking for people all across. If we have a tow truck program, not a tow truck program, but a lot of the things that go along with the tow truck, there's a couple of automotive programs through Votech on the career connection side, and there's also things precision machining and electricity, all the things that go into a tow truck. There's a program that services them at Votech. And the advanced career connections will help you explore all those things for your tow truck needs. Other questions? That's a good start, folks. Do students choose which semester to come? The semesters will be assigned. We're going to wait and see what our numbers are and wait and see where those folks are coming from and make it fit in as well as we can. We're also going to take into account the scheduling at the different schools. Every high school schedules a little differently, and we'll have to take all that into account. We've been calling those the weeds, but no, the students will not choose which semester. That will be assigned. Good questions. Keep them coming, folks. See if you can stump Coach Potts. It is not a whole year program. They will either come during the fall semester or during the spring semester. It'll just be one semester. It's basically half of the commitment. It's just 2 blocks. Yes, you'll be taking biology plus your elective in whichever pathway you choose. Yep, 1 semester, 2 classes. 9th graders coming into STEM will be making a 2-year commitment. The classes at this point, Ms. Estep, the classes are not weighted. They are normal classes. We're hoping to move in that direction soon, but for our first year of STEM, the classes are not weighted. All right, you guys can keep putting questions into the chat box and we'll pick them up, or we're going to zip through the application process again, especially for those folks that came in late. If you go to the STEM website, you can Google us, STEM Academy Chatham, STEM Academy PCS, and we'll pop up there, or you can go to the PCS website, type STEM into the search, and we're the first thing that pops up. So you've got the Apply Here button. It's right in the middle. When you click on it, it takes you to a cool looking picture that shows you where the Google form is. You click on the form, it pops up. It's got cool information for you and your folks up at the top that'll answer a whole bunch of the questions that we've heard today and questions your parents may have. And then the form is very simple: who you are, where you are, what grade you're in, and which program you're interested in. Remember, this is not a binding document. It's just telling us, hey, I'm interested in what I'm hearing about STEM. I would like to know more. I would like to enter the application process. So you fill in the info, click in the boxes at the bottom. That way we can start communicating with your school counselor and make sure that you don't slip through the cracks. Fill in the online surveys, the most important thing to starting your STEM Academy process. Can you quickly list the program types? We joined late. Yes, we'll circle back around to that, and here we go. All right, so your 10th grade, whoop, there we go. We have 2 pathways. Health and medical sciences, which is just what it sounds like. Anything that has to do with the health and medical sciences, from a doctor, a nurse, anything that has to do with that. Pathologist, physical therapy, veterinary, animal science, all of those things will be focused on the health and medical sciences side. The other side is advanced career connections. There are 19 different pathways at Votech, at PCTC. And those 19 programs, they will each be highlighted in their own way. during advanced career connections, and students will explore those different possibilities and start using some of the tools and some of the equipment that they use at PCTC so they can explore. Now, some of the things like welding, no, we're not going to have blowtorches over here at STEM, but we have a virtual welding program on ZSpace where they can explore some of the cool things that happen in welding and study the material science behind it. And so they can decide if maybe they want to do welding, for instance. All right. So hopping back to the application, we've got number one, you fill in your online application. Ms. Cassett, I'll get to your question in 1 sec. Let me finish my thought here. And then you have 2 recommendations. One of those recommendations goes to a current 9th grade student, or excuse me, a current 9th grade teacher, somebody that teaches you this year, and they'll fill it out and give it to your counselor. And then the other one can go to anyone in the school. It can be a coach, it can be a club sponsor, it can be an administrator, a counselor, it can be a different teacher. So your second recommendation can go to anyone else you think knows you well. Will the program be affected by COVID numbers? Yes, recruiting in the COVID era has been very difficult, Ms. Ball. That is no joke. We would much rather you guys were coming to STEM to tour STEM, and that we were coming into your classrooms to show you some of the things. But we are in the era we are, so we're pushing through as best we can. We're hoping it doesn't affect us too much, but yes, it has made the recruiting process very interesting. And yes, Ms. Estep and Ms. Vaughn are correct. Class sizes will be limited to 18 people per class. That means we can host 72 10th graders over here during the scope of the year next year. We can host 36 in the fall and 36 in the spring. So putting those 2 questions together, I'm going to assume that our class sizes here will be smaller than your normal class sizes. All right, there's also a cool tab on the STEM website that says Learn More. Not only does it have the stuff that we went through today that you saw, but it's got a cool snazzy brochure that you can show to your folks that summarizes all the stuff. If your folks have a short attention span, this might be good for them. They can hop onto our quick presentation tomorrow and they can look at this, and it shows them all the educational benefits for hopping over to STEM for a year to hang out with us. All right, other questions? This group's had very good questions today. I appreciate all the questions. All right, well, if we don't have any other questions, if anything pops into your mind over the next couple of weeks, I am david.potts at pcs.yada yada yada, and Ms. McCraw is olivia.mccraw at pcs.yada yada yada. Students, you can email us, parents can email us, teachers, administrators, anybody that has a question, please don't let it go unanswered. And yes, the parent Google Meet time is 7:30 for rising 10th graders. 7:30. You hop on, I'll be there, and we'll knock it out. Okay, anybody else got any questions? I know you guys have got a busy day in front of you. Nobody's used to getting up on a Wednesday. All right, well, thanks for all of your questions. Thanks for showing up, and kids out there in Radio Land, we appreciate you thinking about us. And if anything that we said today interests you, fill out that online survey. Okay, that'll show us that you're interested. It's not a binding agreement, but it'll help us connect with you to see if maybe we can't make STEM happen for you next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your time.
All right, everybody have a good day. Thanks for coming.